Hi, everybody. Welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. Today, I wanted to show you how you can make a pretty card featuring the Flowering Tulips bundle. Actually, it's a whole suite of products from the new Stampin' Up! January to June mini catalog. It is absolutely stunning. It's just so spring-like. And if you live anywhere where you're getting snow in winter, we've actually had it on the West Coast for a while, and I'm glad that the snow's finally disappearing. So this card really makes me feel very springy, and I've popped it up using Poppy Parade, which is one of my absolutely favorite colors ever. I just love Poppy Parade. All right, I'm going to switch over to my desktop, and I will show you how to make this really pretty card. All right. So what I've done, let's bring in the supplies here first, or the products. So this is and it's got a bit of a glare because of my lighting. Sorry about that. I have a hard time getting out the glare out of it. There we go, maybe trying. So this is the Flowering Tulips. I love this circle stamp with the thank you in the middle. Some really pretty sentiments where thank you, happy birthday, love you, thinking of you, happy Mother's Day, just a really versatile stamp set. And then it's two-step stamping. These images are at 90% of what they actually are. So they are bigger than what they're appearing. So you have the tulips, just do the two-step stamping, the leaves, and then the stem. And then you get a great set of dies. You have the dies that will cut out the three-dimensional pieces, which is what I'm going to use today, as well as the dies that will cut out the stamped images for the flowers, the stem, and the leaves. And then this great border, I've already cut this out, makes it a little easier to see, little bits. This great border die that, let's flip this here, that cuts out this border of tulips, just lovely. So such a versatile bundle. I'm not using the designer series paper on my card today, but there is some great designer series paper and some ribbon. I am using these brushed brass butterfly embellishments, two sizes, the larger one and the smaller one, and there's 80 in a package. All right, here's my supplies. I've got a piece of Poppy Parade. This is cut, I've already gone ahead and scored it. This is cut 4 1/4 by 11, and I have scored it at 5 1/2. And I'm just going to fold. So this is the side I scored on. So I always fold into the raised, or the other side, the mountain, as I say. So fold towards that raised piece. Use your bone folder and give it a really good burnish. Now, all of the written instructions and measurements will be on my blog, and the link to my blog will be underneath this video when it goes live. So you'll be able to get it if you miss anything. So this is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. Then I have another piece. This is Poppy Parade as well. This is scored, or this is 4 inches by 5 1/4. What I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to emboss it, and you may not be able to see this. There is an embossing folder in the mini catalog, or two. It's a combination. It's called Splotches and Stripes, I think, or Stripes and Splotches. This is the Splotches one. I'm a sucker for splotches. It's I believe this is 3 inches, 3 1/4 maybe, but it's intended to fit into the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So you can see that my card stock is too wide. So what I'm going to do is, because I'm going to cover up the middle of this anyway, and it doesn't matter that there might be a seam, or you might see where I butted the two pieces. I'm going to just put my piece in to my embossing folder about, well, it's a little over halfway. And then I'm going to run it through, and I'm just going to do that off. I've got my machine. You will have to use the regular machine. You can't use the mini when you're doing this because of the size of cardstock. But if you were just embossing a piece that was 3 inches wide, you could absolutely use use the mini. So I've got my piece embossed. I don't know if you can see those splotches. Maybe. There we go. A little bit. It's really cool. And so then take it and shift it so that you're now going to emboss the other side again. You're not going to see that seam in the middle, so it doesn't matter if it overlaps slightly. And then I'm going to run it through the other side. Like that. So now I have a fully embossed piece of cardstock. All right, so what you're going to do is we're going to adhere this piece to your card base. Like that. Just use whatever your favorite adhesive is. Today, mine seems to be the multi-purpose or the liquid glue. Gives you a little bit of wiggle room. All right, so we've embossed it. We've adhered this piece onto the card base. Okay, so now I have a piece of, I really love the Petal Pink and Poppy Parade together. Just so pretty. So this piece is cut, let's see, 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. So it's going to fit in the middle. And then I've got a piece of basic white that is 2 1/2 by 5 1/4, and it's going to go on the front. Now I've realized I have forgotten my old olive ink, so let me just grab that somewhere. Have it ready for another card. Here we go, behind me. Okay, so here's my old olive. So what I'm going to do is do some stamping first. So I'm going to need 3 blocks, so we'll get those out. So I'm going to need the leaf, the stem, and the Happy Mother's Day sentiment. And get all of our stamps out. So I'm going to do 3 stems. And I'm going to stamp them about, 1.5 inches or so from the bottom of my piece. So I'm going to put one here, one in the middle. I always try and start in the middle, and then one raised slightly up and off to the side, and one going the other way, just slightly elevated over it. Then I'm going to take my leaf, and this one I'm going to stamp off, and I'm just going to put a leaf, and it's going to go off the edge of my paper. And I'm going to turn it and go this way. Oops, stamp off. I want my leaves slightly larger or slightly lighter. And then this one in the middle. So I've got some leaves. Tulips tend to have quite a bit of bulky leaves around them. Okay, so now this piece will adhere to my Petal Pink. Piece. Again, just it's 1/4 inch smaller, so you're just going to align it with the top and in the middle, and you might have to trim depending on how you cut. I think I have to, looks like I have to trim my bottom, but that's okay, I can do that. Sometimes not too bad. You can hardly see it, but just one side. Just trim the extra bit off. And now this piece is going to go on here. And for this, we're going to use dimensionals. So I'm going to put one in the middle on each side and one in the middle of it. I just don't want it to sag in the middle. It's a big piece of cardstock, so we'll just add some extra dimensionals. There we go. And this can go in the middle like that. Okay. Now, Okay, so we got that. Now, the next thing I want to do is show you how to make the tulips. I'm using the 3-dimensional tulips for this one. So I've gone ahead and cut out using the dies. Let's bring the dies back in. So there are a number of different dies that cut out the 3-dimensional pieces. So there are this one, this one, this one. And then you have one for the bud and 2 different shapes. These fit in the middle of the 3-dimensional pieces. All right, so this one was for that. Let's see. This one is this piece, and this one is, no, this one is this one, this one. Okay, and then I've got some of the buds. You only need one of those, but you need 2 of this shape right here. So all these do is fold. Nothing could be easier. So you've got, when you've, you just take this, there's a score line and you just fold it. And by using the designer series paper, you get this great imagery. If you've ever seen those really pretty tulips that are all kind of mottled, that's what I'm going for here. You could use solid colors if you want. You could do it out of cardstock. The designer series paper cuts so nicely. So I've got my basic piece, and then I'm going to take and put one of these middle pieces, and I am using dimensionals to put those in. Oops. So just take a dimensional, put it on the back, and get it unstuck from your finger. There we go. And then just stick it in the middle. You can pop up a little bit like this, and then a glue dot. So I'm just going to take a glue dot, put it on that side, and then this will just hold my piece. If you wanted this to pop up a little bit more, you could use a mini dimensional on it. But there you go. That is one tulip done. And the same, okay, so now we've got this piece here. Oops, it goes this way. So you're going to take, and I've already got a dimensional on this one, so you're just going to put a dimensional on it, pop it, and then we will use a glue dot to hold the pieces together. So this one kind of has got 2 flaps. So if you put one over the other and then put the glue dot on. So now there's my second. And then the last one is the bud. I haven't quite figured out. I think it goes this way, although I wouldn't be too sure. So I've got another dimensional, pop that. And we'll just put this in the middle. And then another glue dot to hold it in place. So easy to put these tulips together. They may look a little bit daunting, but they're really not. There we go. So I've got my 3 tulips that I'm gonna put, let's put these back in the container. There we go. Now let's bring my card back in, and I'm gonna use a dimensional on the back of each of these just to pop them up even more. Making 3D kind of cards, you might as well pop them up. All right, so I've got 1 tulip. So I'm kind of they're kind of going off the edge a little bit, but that's okay. They're not off the edge of the card. They're just off the edge of the basic white. This bud is going in the middle. And then this other fully in bloom tulip is going over here like that. All right, pretty card, right? Now, I have gone ahead and cut out this border piece already. And I've gone ahead and cut out, this is a little strip of basic white cardstock that I have just cut 1/2 inch. Let's see, 1/2 inch by 3 inches. And just trying to see, needs to be trimmed a little bit. It doesn't need to be, oh, actually, and here's one that's the right length. I had 2 pieces because I thought, sure as anything, if I stamp it, I'll get it wrong. So this should be 1/2 inch by 2 1/4. It just fits along the bottom. So what you're going to do with this piece is you're going to take it. I cut it so that it's 6 inches long, which is the length of it. And I'm just going to take and cut it so that it goes across the border, which was, what did I say that was? 2 3/4. So I'm just going to take and cut this to be 2 3/4. Save the extra piece. So this is going to be the piece. Save that extra piece because you can use it on another card. So I've got this little piece, and I'm just going to take take your pick tool and get out these little bits. There we go. So this is going to go on across like this, just to give it some detail down at the bottom. Now, what am I going to use? I don't have much. I'm going to just use a little bit of the liquid glue. Don't want a lot because I don't have a lot of room to put glue. So just a little bit of glue. And we will adhere that like that. Now I need to take my sentiment piece, and it's going to say Happy Mother's Day, and I'm stamping in Poppy Parade. Let's get it the right way around. And hopefully I won't need that other piece. Oh, not too bad. See, that's what happens. You cut an extra piece for insurance and then you don't need to use it. That's my theory anyway. All right, so now I'm just going to take a couple of dimensionals and adhere, oops, that piece on. Just right like that. And then the last thing for the front is I have these cute butterflies. So we're just going to add one of the big butterflies and one of the little butterflies here at the top of the card, just to give it some detail. Now, I thought I had a piece of, here I do. So I've got a piece of basic white cut that's 4 inches by 5 1/4. And I have a New Year's resolution to finish the insides of my cards. And for this one, I'm just going to adhere it down. And then maybe I've got an extra. Well, actually, I know what I've got. I've got the rest of this border piece. So let's see if we can just put this on the inside. It's quite straight in there. Oh well. All right. No, I don't like it. I've got some extra tulips here. Let's put one of these tulips on the inside. I'm just going to use a little bit of glue. So I made some extra tulips. Now the card's not going to close completely, but that's okay. So it's going to be a little squishy. All right, so there's my card. So pretty. And by using the designer series paper, it just really makes it easy to make some beautiful tulips. And again, you could use the designer series paper that isn't quite so patterned as this one. And you can use the combination of the 2 sides of it, like I have, with the polka dot on one side and then the ones that kind of looks like clouds to me. Or you can use cardstock. Up to you what you decide to use to make your tulips, but either way, they're going to be beautiful. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do have any questions, just pop a little comment underneath the video, or if you're over on my blog at stampingwithmelva.com, leave a comment on there and I'm happy to answer your questions. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you get notified when I post upcoming videos. I'd love to have you to be a subscriber. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining me. Happy stamping. Bye.